The political situation of El Salvador is one that will greatly affect the whole of Latin America. It is a system that gives power to the citizens through the popular vote system. In this video, we will take a look at the parties of the country, give it a little context, of course. There's been definitely some turmoil in certain contexts in the country, and we're going to look for the next president. So I want to say that this is my first video covering a country in Latin America. Let me know what you think. Also, I have made this video in Spanish as well. If you prefer that version, I'm sure there will be a card on screen. But without further ado, let's get started. First, we need some context to really set the scene of what's happening in the country. In 2021, the Supreme Court allowed presidents to run for re-election, which was not the case before, obviously, and has been somewhat controversial, both internationally and obviously within the country. Nayib Bukele is the current president for the party known as Nuevas Ideas, New Ideas. They're seen very much as a central kind of political party, but to say that he doesn't have his own flair would be definitely wrong. Before we get in some of the controversies, well, the first controversy actually, he decided to make the national currency Bitcoin, which, if you've paid attention, recently Bitcoin's been up again. But it's been a pretty big problem for the citizens and has hurt his government to some extent. Some of the other things are actually pretty crazy to me. He made 40 soldiers come into the National Assembly, actually during a vote on the first day of May in 2021. The vote was for something pretty important, actually. It removed five Supreme Court justices, the Attorney General. Both of those groups were attacking Bukele for just various practices of his government. And also, it helped in the plan to try to fight the different gangs within the country, funded mostly by the government of the United States, actually. Um, Obviously they see fighting crime in Latin America to try to help the situation at the southern border, would be the thinking, of course. And it should be very clear that he removed the Supreme Court justices before they allowed, in the next ruling, to just he could just run for re-election. They gave that the delivery in September. Um, a lot of people see him as hurting democracy in the country, but he is currently sitting at around 80 to 90% approval. Partially due to populism, I imagine. You can spin things certain ways. Um, but of course, it's not just one party. The National Republican Alliance, um, is a party of the right and the second biggest party, currently with 11 seats in the National Assembly. Um, After that, you have two parties that are currently at 4 seats. Um, the United National Grand Alliance also supports Bukele. So obviously they're not running a candidate um, to try to challenge. And then you have a former guerrilla group turned new socialism advocate. Um, Obviously, it's the Front for National Liberation, a typical kind of communist, left wing kind of name. They also have 4 seats, as I mentioned, and no other party has more than 3. Um, In my opinion, I really see this race as pretty clear already. Um, it seems that Bukele has been tearing down some of the guardrails already of his power. Ultimately, with the high approval ratings that he's currently seeing, I expect him to secure another term in office. Despite controversies and despite many different things, I think he will hold on to the office. If I was a citizen of El Salvador, I would probably be concerned about the democratic backsliding in the country at this point. However, I don't know who I would vote for. Obviously, that comes to personal preference. So thank you all for watching this video. Let me know what you think. Do you think that Bukele will just kind of ride off to another presidential term, or do you think that people will respond to some of his actions by voting him out of office? Um, yeah, thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.